You know that feeling, right? When you feel like you're just stuck, like you're giving it your all but constantly running into a wall. That feeling of failure, man, it can be one of the most draining things in the world. But today, we're going to look at a spiritual perspective that completely flips the script on what failure even is, and we'll find a clear path to building some serious inner strength.
And look, it's a question we all ask ourselves, right? Why do I keep failing in life? We put in the effort, we have the best intentions, but the things we want, they just don't seem to happen. It's so frustrating. But what if the entire question itself is based on a misunderstanding?
Okay, let's just dive right into this, because this first idea is a game changer. The core concept here is that what we've been calling failure, it's actually an illusion. It's a total misunderstanding of how life works. And to really get this, we've got to draw a clear line between two very different things.
So on one hand, you've got your needs, the basics, food, water, a roof over your head. The spiritual view is that the universe, or God, whatever you want to call it, provides these fundamental things for every living being. But then, on the other hand, you've got your wants. Not just any house, but that specific house. Not just a job, but that promotion. And that right there, that's where the feeling of failure is born, in the gap between our reality and our very specific desires.
I mean, just stop and think about that for a second. The same power that makes sure every single bird finds its meal, that power is not ignoring you. Your basic needs are taken care of. The pain, that feeling of failure, it only shows up when our personal wants aren't met. So if the universe is handling our needs, why does it feel like our wants are so often blocked?
Well, that very question leads us right to a huge spiritual principle, the destiny of karma. Turns out, there's this invisible force playing out in our lives that has a direct impact on whether we reach our goals. And believe me, it has everything to do with our past.
And this force has a name. It's called Prarabdha Karma. Here's a way to think about it. Imagine all of your actions from every past life are like a huge pile of seeds. Prarabdha Karma is like the handful of those seeds that are scheduled to sprout right now, in this lifetime. It's what sets the stage, the family you're born into, your natural gifts, and yeah, even the invisible hurdles you have to deal with. Now, this is the really crucial part. Even if you were doing everything right today, you're working hard, you're being a good person, your Prarabdha Karma can still throw up a roadblock. If those past actions were negative, they're going to pop up as challenges now. This is why sometimes, no matter how hard we try, things just fall apart. It feels like failure, but really it's just the universe balancing its books.
But, and this is the most important but, this is where we find the solution. You are not stuck. This is not some life sentence you just have to accept. We have the power to change things. The whole idea is to generate such powerful positive karma right now that it literally steamrolls the old negative stuff. You're going to fight fire with a bigger, more powerful fire. So how on earth do we do that?
You do it by focusing on a system, a process of purification. And this path is built on 4 fundamental pillars, 4 areas of your life that you can actively work on to create that new super strong karma we're talking about.
These 4 pillars are your speech, your mind, your sustenance, which is basically what you eat and drink, and finally, your body and what you do with it. Purifying each of these is the step-by-step practical guide to rewriting your own story. Let's break them down one by one.
First up is speech, and it's pretty straightforward, really. You can see we're just making a trade. We stop doing the stuff in the avoid column, the lying, the gossip, the harsh talk, and we actively start doing the stuff in the embrace column, like being truthful and kind. Suddenly, your voice becomes a tool that builds things up instead of tearing them down.
Second, and this is a big one, is the mind. I mean, it's the source of everything, right? The goal here is to steer the mind away from those powerful currents you see on the left, like anger and greed, and give it something better to do. Point it towards the things on the right, like meditation or contemplation. You're not trying to fight your mind.
Inner peace
You're just giving it a much cooler
not in
job.
external
Third
circumstances,
is sustenance. And this
but
is
in the
huge,
stillness
because
of
what
our
we put
own
in our
minds.
bodies directly affects our consciousness. The idea is to move away from foods that are considered tamasic, which just means heavy, things that make you feel dull, and instead embrace sattvic foods, which are pure and light. This also means eating in moderation and eating food offered with a spiritual intention, called prasad. The old saying, "you are what you eat," is taken very, very seriously. And the
When we
fourth pillar
quiet the
is the
mind,
body
we begin
and its
to hear
actions.
the whispers
This
of
is
the
all about
divine.
avoiding things like
This
laziness
energy
and
surrounds
embracing
us,
seva,
connecting us
which is just
all in
selfless
love.
service, doing good things without needing anything back. It's also about choosing your company wisely. You avoid negative influences and you seek out satsang, which just means hanging out with good, spiritual people.
Okay, so you're probably looking at all these pillars and thinking, wow, that
that sounds like a lot of work. Where am I supposed to get the energy for all of this? And that is the perfect question, because it brings us to the ultimate tool, the engine that powers this entire transformation.
I absolutely love this analogy. It asks us to think of this whole spiritual path like a marketplace. Now, in any market, if you want to buy something, you need cash, right? Well, in the spiritual market, the currency is Nam Jap, the chanting of the divine name. It's the one thing you need to buy all the strength and purity we've been talking about.
See, chanting the name, it isn't some passive little ritual. No, it's an active force. It gives you the actual, real-world strength to put all this knowledge into practice. It gets to work and starts to destroy that old negative karma. It purifies you from the inside out, your mind, your body, your soul. It's considered the absolute simplest and yet the most powerful tool for real lasting change.
And that brings everything right back to the beginning, doesn't it? If that feeling of failure came from not getting the worldly stuff we want, this offers a completely different definition of what it means to be rich. True wealth isn't about what's in your bank account. It's about the spiritual treasure you build up through your practice. And that is a kind of wealth that no so-called failure can ever touch.
So the idea here isn't to feel overwhelmed by all this. It's to feel empowered. You have a roadmap. You have a powerful tool. The only question left is what's one small step, just one, that you can take for your own purification today. Maybe it's just being more mindful of your words. Maybe it's choosing one healthy thing to eat. Or maybe it's just sitting for 5 minutes and chanting. The journey to overcome failure doesn't start with a giant leap. It starts with a single conscious step.
If you liked this video, hit that subscribe button for more updates and cool tips.